All right, guys. Sorry about this craziness tonight. Um, basically, I just went back behind my building to let one of the tenants out, and there's a live wire back there. The firemen were already there, and apparently, the line behind our apartment building, there's some trees there, and one of the trees was pushing against the wire, I guess, and the wire snapped. And so there's like a live wire flopping around back there with sparks. And so the fire department is here. They're working on it. They said DWP is on the way. So pretty soon we should get power restored. So my assumption, my thinking is that once we get power back, I'll go ahead and crank up the computer and get things back running the way they should with my OBS software. Hello, Sarah and Mike G. Again, it's good to see you here. Having some technical difficulties with the power in my building. I guess it's not just my building. I think that event took out most of our block because the power lights down the street are out. So fire department showed up. We have a back gate that is powered by electricity, and when the power goes out, the tenants basically are stuck inside. And there's only one way in and out of our building, our carport. So I had to run back there to turn off the gate and manually just push open the gate so that my tenant could get out. And the fire department will, wave them through because they've got our whole street has been blocked off with yellow tape. So we're part of an incident. So we're back. So does anybody have any questions that maybe I could answer off the fly, just to make it worth your while for jumping in here? Hey, Matt, good to see you. Before it gets too dark for me to do this. So one thing I did want to mention to you guys is that I have this brand new setup that I was going to use for the live stream. And as you can see, I've had this Canon camera for a while. That all set up and was able to get that straightened out. And so I had this great brand new camera all ready to roll. I had this interview lined up. I wonder if I can go back in these. Someone has said that the Cash app is not validating. I haven't had any trouble with the Cash app. They've just added the deposit feature for Bitcoin. So I don't know that I can share screen on my phone so you can see what I'm doing with the Cash app. Oh, hey, Dean, good to see you. But I haven't had any trouble with it. It does take it a little bit when you transfer. Let's say you've got it set up and you've connected your debit card. It's okay. I don't know if you're having trouble getting your debit card validated or not. I'm not sure. But once you've got that set up, you should be able to buy Bitcoin pretty easily. And I do remember that there was a process that you had to go through to enable Bitcoin withdrawals. And maybe that's the part where you're getting hung up. I made it through. I don't remember exactly what I had to do to get validated. I thought that all I had to do was do an email confirmation. But it may have been more involved than that. Sometimes I kind of bumble through these things and manage to get them set up. But I do have a video on the Cash app that is on YouTube. So if you have power where you are, you should be able to get that video up. Just kind of do a search, do a Google for CryptoDad Cash app, because I do have some video. I have the video on how you set up Cash app. And I do believe that in that video, I do go through the process of validating myself. They told me it was going to go through in 72 hours, but more than a week now. Oh, okay. Yeah, I do remember it did take a couple of days for them to validate me. Um, Interesting though, but it's been a week for you. Okay. Now I don't know that there's any way to get a hold of maybe tech support and maybe shoot them an email and see if there's anything that they can do. I'm not too sure how responsive their tech support is. It's like most things in today's world. It's kind of automated, and I'm sure there's a lot of people asking questions, and there's a long queue and that sort of thing. Um, but yeah, there's that validation process, and I don't believe mine took more than a few days. So Link is going up. Any thoughts? It's funny. There was an article in Forbes about Link, and that's probably one of the reasons that it's going up. Whenever there's some news, it usually will drive coins one way or the other. And the article was a fairly, unbiased discussion of Link. Although I know Forbes is a pretty mainstream publication and web site, and I'm pleasantly surprised that they've been covering Bitcoin a lot. They've got a writer named Billy Bambaugh who does most of their Bitcoin articles, and he's pretty even-handed. This article that I read today in Forbes about Link was a different author. But basically, it was if you've heard of Bitcoin and Bitcoin is going up, there's this other coin that's even higher, has gone higher than Bitcoin this year, and it's Link. And he talked a lot about Link. Link is, I guess, it's up 600% this year. So its coverage in that Forbes article is probably pumping it a little more. Uh, so that's probably why it's on the up. Okay, Sarah and Mike just ordered their first Ledger Nano S from Ledger. It usually ships out by their the French postal service, and then goes to DHL International, and usually gets delivered by the U.S. Post Office. They're pretty good about giving you updates. I believe if you've given them their phone number, you'll get a few links or I'm sorry, text on updates when it arrives. Now it does have to be signed for. So I think the first time I ordered one, I wasn't there when it came, so I had to go pick it up at the post office because it is one of those things that has to be signed for because it's international and whatever. But matter of days. It doesn't take that long to get your ledger, even though it comes from France. They send it like. But I think when you order it, that you can tell them if you want it faster. But I think their default works just fine. Yeah, and you can track it. That they usually send you a tracking email or text when it first ships, so that you can track it DHL. Yeah, it doesn't take very long though. It's not too bad. I'm gonna see. I've never used my phone before. This is really interesting how this is working, but I can't. I don't. Oh, hey, check it out. I can sort of swipe on my phone to see the history of your questions, which is great because I was missing a few. Um, there was a question about ICX, and unfortunately I don't know much about ICX, so I can't like Google it and pull up the chart or anything right now. Uh, but I'm thinking like if when we get the power restored later, I'll probably jump back on the live stream and do a little bit more. So one of the things that I was really excited about was my Canon camera. I have the camera for a while, and I had used it to do some standalone recording, which I haven't really posted yet. And I could never figure out how to get it to use for a live stream camera. Been having some trouble with my webcam, focusing issues. And I got a capture card and I got an HDMI and everything. The problem was when I captured the camera, I was capturing the raw footage with the little box on there, the focus box. So it took me a while to figure out how to get clean HDMI input. And I finally figured that out this week. So anyway, I've got a really nice live stream camera now set up, and things will be getting better. My son is back there sharpening pencils. XRP, I've heard some good things about XRP lately. A big partnership with a mainstream company. I can't remember exactly what it was. It's the kind of news that would have just sent XRP to the moon if it had come out in 2017. If you guys remember in 2017, any positive news story about any coin would just... Oh, MoneyGram, thank you. Yeah, so they partner with MoneyGram. They're becoming more mainstream. Cryptocurrency in general is more accepted now as a thing. So, they've made a good partnership here, and it's great news for them. And but right now, I think the news isn't moving the altcoins as much as it did in 2017, which is a little disappointing if you've got money on the line. But in a broader sense, it's good news because the market isn't so fickle as it was before. I do want to talk a little bit about Libre Coin. I had some articles to share about Libre Coin. This is the new Facebook coin, and they released a white paper a couple weeks ago, and they said it'll be up and running by 2020. It's not really a true cryptocurrency, and it's not really directly in competition with cryptocurrencies in that sense. It is, but in another sense, it is. It's sort of a publicly held, quasi-private type of system where big companies have to donate $10 million at least to be part of this consortium, and then once they've invested this money, they're going to put this coin out as a payment ecosystem. And what's interesting about it is that it's sort of bypassing banks in a way, but not completely, because every time an end user wants to buy Libre, they're going to have to pay with their fiat, whether it's dollars or euro or yen or however they do it. And then this fiat currency gets deposited in a bank because it is a stable coin. So in the same sense that when people buy Tether, there has to be some money deposited in a bank somewhere, some US dollars. The same with Libre. So there's going to be a lot of, and it's backed, because it's stable coin-ish, it's backed by these dollars or these fiat currencies. So there is going to be a huge amount of crypto or of fiat deposited into Libre's account and held by the Libre organization. Now, when you're talking about this much money, it is going to be gaining interest in the same sense that the Federal Reserve pays banks, interest payments on the money they have deposited. And it's a lot is going to be feeding back into the people that invested in Libre. So we're talking about kind of the underbelly of this Libre is all of this fiat currency that is going to be deposited in banks. So in that sense, there is the bankers where this money is being deposited will benefit, but it's not really part of the Federal Reserve system. So in a way, it's bypassing banks. In another way, it's benefiting banks. And then we've got, MasterCard and Visa and PayPal and Uber and all of these other huge companies that have put money into this thing, they're going to be benefiting also from these interest payments on this crypto. Now, the average person that is buying Libra and depositing their money uh, is not going to benefit from the interest payments. That was what this article that I saw today said. I had heard that they're thinking of a way of giving some of this interest earnings back to the people that are putting their money into Libra. But really, on that scale, it's not going to be much, because if I buy $100 worth of Libra, I'm only getting a small piece of this interest income that my money is earning, or the money that I've put in. So I just wanted to talk about that. It's very interesting, but it's not really a cryptocurrency in that sense of the word. Now, I noticed there's a comment here from a person that commented earlier, Ads Moni, about Coinbase. Now, if you watch my videos, if you're going to buy cryptocurrency on Coinbase and you want to buy it right away, you need to use the debit card option rather than the bank card option. The bank card option takes a while to clear. And the reason for that is the nature of cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is an irreversible transaction. Now, bank transfers and checks and credit card payments are not. They are, by their very nature, they're reversible. So Coinbase is in the business of selling Bitcoin primarily to retail customers. That's one model of what they do. So, which means that I say, okay, I want to buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. So I send you $1,000 and you send me Bitcoin. That's all well and good. Once I've got that Bitcoin in my own wallet or in their wallet, I can just transfer it off from there. That's my Bitcoin, right? What happens if, for whatever reason, my bank transaction doesn't clear? Or I call my bank and I say, you know what, I want to cancel this transaction, or I don't want to pay this check, or I don't want to pay this charge, or whatever, or this is fraudulent, or whatever, any kind of scam that I can think of that would allow me to not make this payment. That's why Coinbase is making the bank transfer clear completely before they're going to allow you access to that Bitcoin. It's the nature of the way that cryptocurrency works, that they have to wait until they totally own your money before they'll release the Bitcoin to your custodialship, right? They're going to tell you, oh, it's in there, right? And it shows that you own it. It's in your account, but it's not spendable. It's not tradable, and it won't be until it's totally cleared. So that's why it takes so long for your money, your purchases to clear through Coinbase. Oh. All right, sorry about that. I'm still live. Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to text one of my drivers. I'm gonna open this a little bit to get some light in here. Darkness is approaching. Okay, so we have someone that commented. She's very unhappy. She bought some Bitcoin. It wasn't going to clear for 17 days, and apparently she's worried about the price going up or down. So she wants to get out. So she had to cancel her purchase, and it cost her $8 in fees, him or her. Well, that's exactly why Coinbase didn't want to give you that Bitcoin until you were totally sure that you were going to make this. Okay. You were going to make this purchase. Now, if you want your and I'll add one more thing to that. If you buy Bitcoin on Coinbase with your bank account, and it takes 17 days to clear, the good news there is that you get that price that was on that day. So if the price of Bitcoin goes up in 17 days, and it's not gonna be like the money that you spend is only going to buy a certain amount of Bitcoin, right? You're locked into that Bitcoin purchase. So they're not looking at, okay, it was $500 worth of Bitcoin she bought, but then the price of Bitcoin went up, so now you're getting less Bitcoin, right? It doesn't work like that. You get a set amount of Bitcoin at that today's price. It's just not available to you to spend or transfer until your bank money clears. All right. So you're locked in. Your trade is locked in, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, if you want to right away use the debit card option, that's really the solution to your issue right there. Just use the debit card to buy that Bitcoin on Coinbase, and then it'll be available to you right away. The only drawback to that is your limits are lower when you use the debit card option. And when you're new, you don't have a very large limit. I had to sell it and keep the cash in my wallet. They say, okay, they say they will hold that also for 17 days. Okay, yeah. Yes, I mean, you bought the Bitcoin, it's not going anywhere, but you can't withdraw it or spend it or trade it until your money clears in your bank. So I don't know that you were able to cancel that or not. I mean, but they do say that when you buy it, that your transaction has to clear. Now, 17 days is a long time. It's usually, I think they say 5 to 7 business days. But like I said, the debit card option, when you tie your debit card to your Coinbase account, it's an instant purchase, and then you'll get the Bitcoin right away, and then you can trade it, sell it, hold it, transfer it into your own wallet, whatever you want to do. So I'm really sorry that happened to you. But I just want you to be aware why they did that. And the other is there's a workaround, right? Use the debit card option instead of the bank account option. There's also a way to deposit the money ahead of time, and then you can just deposit the cash directly and just wait until it's fully cleared, and then you can buy and sell as much crypto as you want. But if Bitcoin were to continue to go up, by the time your Bitcoin is cleared, you'll own that Bitcoin that you bought today will be worth more when you get access to it. So it could, of course, go down, which would be a drag, but you never know. Oops. All right. This phone is cool. I really like how this works. I want to transfer EOS off exchange to Nano Ledger S. Have you created a video on how to use the scatter wallet interface? My teaching videos are awesome. Thank you, Joyce. So far as I know, you use the Fairy wallet when you can download the EOS app onto your ledger, which allows you to create a wallet and store a private key and a public key. But in order to actually access that wallet and read the balance and send and receive, you need to use an EOS third-party wallet. There is no EOS account management in Ledger Live, unfortunately. And I've tried to use the Fairy wallet and it was unsuccessful. I wasn't able to do it. So, but the Scatter wallet I haven't heard of. That might be something worth my investigation to see if how that works. Juan, I like to see new people coming in. There is a learning curve. Yes. You know what? While we're on that subject, I'd like to point something out to you guys. I had, this is a Ledger Nano S, and we talk a lot about that on this live stream. This device will allow you to store the private key of a cryptocurrency wallet address safely and securely so that it's offline. It's one of the most secure and safe ways to store your cryptocurrency. All right, hands down. Now, the issue that many people have with this device is that, okay, it allows me to store a private key for my EOS or my ADA or my Stellar or my Tron. All of these cryptocurrencies that do not have Ledger Live interfaces. All of these cryptocurrencies require a third-party wallet to manage that private key on this device. right? And that's a pain, that's a hassle, and it's complicated. But if you're going to, this is the best way to manage your private key is this device. Yeah, I understand that it would be great if Ledger Live supported every cryptocurrency that they have an app for in Ledger Live. I guess that's just technically unfeasible for them, but it's the next best thing. Is to be able to store your private key on this device rather than a desktop-based wallet. That's your only other alternative. You go, oh, okay, well, why don't I use Exodus wallet? That's better because it's easier. Well, yeah, maybe it's a little bit easier, and they say they support a lot of cryptocurrencies, but it's not the safest and secure way to manage your cryptocurrency. That wallet is vulnerable to hacking because it's a desktop-based wallet, right? Someone could gain control of your computer either locally or remotely and take your cryptocurrency. Whereas this thing, there's no way to hack this remotely, right? You have to have it in your hand. Now, because of the buttons, right? All right. Now, there were some people some research done that said this thing was hackable. But all of those hacks require the attacker to have possession of the device. So that's a little different than it being hacked remotely, right? So it is the safest and secure way to store your private keys for your cryptocurrency wallets. It is definitely not the easiest way, right? There really is no magic bullet in cryptocurrency right now. So I get a lot of complaints, and they say, this ledger thing is trash. It's too hard to use. I ran out and I bought it because I thought I could manage all of my cryptocurrencies in one interface, and I have to use third-party wallets, and it's difficult. And yeah, I get it, right? But this is the safest and most secure way to store all of those cryptocurrencies. May not be the easiest, but it is the most safe and secure way. So let's see. Trezor has integrated with Exodus now. Have not tried that yet. Now, I haven't tried that either. I haven't used Exodus in a while. It's weird because the way they store their recovery key is like on their server, and you have to like email them to get access if you need to restore the wallet. It's not a full custodial wallet, right? So, but I should revisit it if they're integrating hardware support. Cash Apps has limit. BTC purchase can buy up to 1,000. I believe the weekly limit on the Cash App is 10,000 Bitcoin. Jack Dorsey owns that company, the CEO of Twitter, and I believe he owns Cash App too. And he makes he's a very ardent Bitcoin supporter, and he says I buy 10,000 every week. Well, he can afford to, but I mean that's it. That's the limit is 10,000 a week on the Cash App for purchasing Bitcoin. And then you can sell it too. I usually withdraw it to my own wallet, but it is kind of a pain that you have to wait, for that to happen to get verified. But once you do, it's very convenient to just, it takes, less than 5 minutes. I did a couple of videos last week where, I went on the Cash App, I bought Bitcoin, I transferred it to Binance, boom, I was done. Or I bought the Bitcoin on Cash App and I transferred it to my Ledger, no big problem. So it works pretty well. Now, and then Juan A is mentioning that the market price appears to be higher, and I've noticed that too. Somebody had to point it out to me. I'm kind of a shoot from the hip kind of guy when it comes to my money. I don't really look at all the the little stuff, and I do notice that their percentage is smaller than Coinbase. So you can buy $50 worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase, and it costs you, I don't know, $2.99, $1.99 merchant charge or whatever. But on the Cash App, if you buy $50 worth of Bitcoin, you get like $49 and some cents or whatever, or 48.70, whatever it is. But let's see who said that. Juan A is pointing out is that their market price of Bitcoin appears to be higher. So if they're, I don't know if they're padding the cost themselves and keeping the profit, or if they're just using a conservative API so they don't end up losing money. Whatever it is, I have noticed that their market price tends to be higher than what you would see on, say, CoinMarketCap or maybe on Coinbase. Coinbase usually has a higher price for Bitcoin than you see on CoinMarketCap too. So you might want to just check to see any given moment in time what the current price of Bitcoin is on CoinMarketCap, Coinbase, and the Cash App might be pretty close. So that's where people are saying it could be more expensive to buy on Cash App. The only thing is there aren't that many fiat on-ramps that are trusted. I guess there's getting to be more. I know that Crypto.com, which is a phone-based or an iOS-based or Android-based cryptocurrency exchange, has a fiat on-ramp too. There's Uphold Wallet, which has a fiat on-ramp that you can use to fund. But all of, Uphold is kind of expensive too as far as their fees go. And then, but the Crypto.com, they have a debit card option, which is a little like 3%. But they also have a bank transfer option that's kind of a push. So you have to actually, they'll give you their bank info, their SWIFT code, the account and routing number, and then you basically have to go into your bank account and actually transfer the money directly to them. But they say that when you do it that way, they don't charge you any fees at all. So it is a little bit of a that way that might just be the cheapest way that I've come across. So I'm gonna try that out pretty soon, maybe in a video. I'll use the Crypto.com transfer option to transfer money from my bank into their account directly, and then from there, when I buy my crypto out of that account, they don't charge me those fees anymore. They're doing that to attract business. So we'll delve more into that. But other than that, I mean, there aren't very many choices out there for buying crypto with fiat. It's not easy. Coinbase is the easiest way to do it, and they charge fees. Now you could get a Coinbase Pro account and then directly transfer some money into that, but it takes several days to clear money to be available for you to trade with. Very similar to Coinbase proper. Gemini, I'm not sure. I haven't explored that. I don't know if that's an exchange that will allow you to deposit fiat or not. Actually, Bittrex will allow you to deposit fiat, but they have a minimum $1,000 minimum. It's a minimum. So I've set it up. So I validated myself on Bittrex, and I could wire money into my Bittrex account, but it's $1,000 minimum. So could be a hurdle for some people to spend that kind of money on crypto on a normal basis. I mean, a normal person like me, or who's they know someone's there. I think maybe I was at the back, right? My phone rang, so I wasn't sure if I got. Okay, Coinbase Wallet. All right, so a lot of people ask me about Coinbase Wallet. They have like the vault, right? And is that if you're talking about their iOS-based, Android-based Coinbase wallet, that's just as secure as a ledger in many respects because it's a non-custodial wallet, right? It does have a 24-word backup phrase, and the private key is stored on your device. So you are in control of that. Yeah, I get custodial and non-custodial. Non-custodial, right? It's non-custodial because they're not in custody of the money. You are. Okay. Jesus. Oh. It's secure. It's not quite as secure as a Ledger Nano S because it's on your phone. So there are many, your phone is pretty secure. You're the only one that has access to it in most cases. It's protected by a lock screen. You might lose the phone, but you have the backup. So in that sense, it's very similar to the Ledger. But it might be easier for someone to get a hold of your phone when you're not around and hack into it, gain access to that wallet. Maybe not easy, but maybe easier than trying to hack a Ledger. A Ledger, if someone gets a hold of my Ledger device, it's even if they take it apart, there's only two, three. You can only try 3 times to enter the PIN, and once you've done that, it does a reset. So the Ledger is a more secure device, but the Coinbase Wallet that you can install on your phone is pretty darn secure. It's not bad at all. Let's see here. Bittrex is stopping all Hawaii residents very soon. Coinbase won't allow Hawaii. I hope Binance US will be open to us. Coinbook and Uphold seems to be the only options for us in the islands. Change my name again. I don't know if that's Scott, but Scott. Oh. Oh, Lord God in heaven. All right. It's a comedy of errors tonight. I'm just getting pelted with things happening in my house with the power and the tenants, and my driver keeps asking me questions. Usually on Friday, it's just, I got the boxes, I dropped the boxes. But tonight it's, what's this, what's that? Did someone tell you this? Did someone tell you that? So I apologize, I'm having to deal with this. Oh. Now she wants me to call somebody. Oh, Lord in heaven. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, CryptoDad, sir. Do you heard of Orchard VPN? If so, what exactly are they trying to do? Thanks. No, I haven't heard of Orchard VPN. I've talked about VPNs before. It's just a service that you pay for that allows you to tunnel your internet signal directly to them, to one of their servers. And then from there, you have access to the rest of the internet. But when you access a web page through a VPN, it looks like your IP is somewhere else or someone else. You can choose to, their Denmark server or their Los Angeles server or their Chicago server. And when you access a web page, the web page thinks you're from one of those cities and it's not your personal IP address. So, but I haven't heard anything special about Orchard, or if it's some new thing, or if it's just a regular VPN that's offering special. I'm not truly sure. I don't know much about Zilqua. I can't really comment on that. Thanks. Yeah, here I am on my phone tonight. It's weird because the power went out here. We still don't have power. And the driver is pelting me with all kinds of questions about her box tonight. So I think I'll wait until 7:30 and then deal with her. Okay, yeah, so I'll probably go for another 5 minutes. And like I said, when we get power back, maybe I'll jump online and do a little more in depth. I really appreciate everyone that joined me tonight. It's like amateur hour here, but it's fun on my phone. I think if I were like in Hawaii or something on the beach, this would be cool. Yeah. Would you say PIA, VPN, Gnosis? I use NordVPN. I've heard that NordVPN is based in a country that's not subject to U.S. laws. In that sense, we talk about we want to use a VPN to remain private, and in most cases, it fulfills that function. But there are some incidents where the law enforcement might be interested in your internet history in some way or form and be able to subpoena your VPN for your records. So that's not total privacy when you think about it. And it's not like we're all trying to do anything wrong. It's just that we looks like I'm not going to be gaming or anything tonight. Oh, here, she gave me a better picture of that one. Oh, thanks for joining my live stream. It's not as fancy as usual. I'm usually sharing screen and moving crypto around and answering questions and maybe doing a little research and showing you charts and whatnot. The power went out in my building, so I'm on phone tonight. So it's just me. It looks like, oh, that's a good thought. Sell everything crypto is going to zero. And you're the one that's probably going to buy our crypto and laugh all the way to the bank when it doesn't go to zero. Yeah, I've been fooled before, but not this time. Is this a house tour? Yeah. Yeah, this is my house tour. Oh, so D is here. You must have just joined, D, because it's been a comedy of errors tonight. I was in the middle of an interview with Brave Software, and then my power went out in my building, and now I'm on my phone, and I'm also trying to deal with some people that you can click that will allow you to alert others, that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining, and hope